We got shirts on sale. Express your love for the evolutions and the new channel rebrand with an evolution t-shirt and hoodie. On sale now. Also, if you like anime, go check out our anime channel MysticSage for awesome anime content. And be sure to follow me on social media so you can stay caught up with the channels and me. Links will be in the description below. And after a short hiatus, we're back with the How Good series. I decided to take initiative this time around and pick a Pokemon I wanted to talk about on my own. But don't worry, I still want you guys to vote and make suggestions in the comment section. However, I didn't see anybody suggesting Flygon in any of the recent videos, and I really had the urge to talk about it. So here we are, talking about Flygon. As always, the way how we will be doing things in this series is going through each game Flygon is available in and analyzing how it performs during a standard playthrough of said games. To do this, we'll be taking into consideration when it actually becomes available in game, the moves available to it, and how well it can do in all of the most important battles of the games. Alright, with that being said, I think we can jump right into our analysis of the Mystic Pokemon, Flygon. Huh, I never realized it was called that. Cool. So starting off, we of course are going to be talking about the games that Flygon first appeared in, being Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. In terms of where you can get Trapinch, that would be in the desert portion of Route 111, which means you won't be able to get your hands on one until after you beat Flannery, as that's when Brendan or May give you the Go Goggles. This is pretty unfortunate, as having a nice ground type would be awesome when it comes to taking on Flannery. But if you want that, you unfortunately have to look at some other Pokemon. I guess it's not a huge loss because Trapinch isn't really all that stellar. When taking a look at the Flygon line, it won't be evolving into Vibrava until level 35, and then finally into Flygon at level 45. So if you decided to overlevel a tad, you'll have your Flygon in time for the final two gyms. For its stats, we're looking at 520 total, which is pretty nice. It has a respectable 100 in both attack and speed, with a pretty decent base 80 in every other stat. Flygon's move pool isn't the widest in the world, but it gets awesome stab with attacks like Earthquake and Dragon Claw, and solid coverage in moves like Flamethrower, Giga Drain, Rock Tomb, and Iron Tail. All these stab and coverage options ensures that Flygon will have a lot of Pokemon it can take down, in addition to fighting back against those it's weak to. In terms of who Flygon can do well against when taking all these factors into consideration, we're looking at do well against Norman's team if you throw Rock Smash on Trapinch, or use the Dig strategy against his Slackings, when known as Swallow, Pelipper, and Altaria in Ruby and Sapphire, as well as your Tropius and Swablu in Emerald. Then you have both Tate and Liza's teams if you're using Giga Drain and Rock Tomb, Wallace's entire team in his battle, which means they can do well against Juan's team in Emerald, Archie's Crobat and Sharpedo, as well as Maxie's Crobat and Camerupt, any of your rivals regardless of starter choice, Wallace's Altaria, Roselia, and Magneton, Sydney's Cacturne, Shiftry, and Sharpedo, Drake's entire team, Steven's entire team, and finally Wallace's entire champion team, except for Ludicolo. You'll just need to be wary of those Ice-type attacks. So with all that being said, does Flygon get the seal of approval? I mean, yeah, I'd say so. Sure, you don't have it for the first half of your journey, but once you get it, you can pretty much sweep the rest of the gym challenge as long as you plan accordingly. Starting with the DS era of games, Flygon is unfortunately not available in Diamond and Pearl until post-game, and just straight up not available in Platinum, so unfortunately, we cannot talk about it here. I also have to mention that technically speaking, you can get Flygon in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, however, it is one of the most tedious things I've ever seen in terms of getting a Pokemon to appear. Needing to wait 30 days after placing many objects down in the desert area at the Safari Zone, that's just way too complicated to do for this one Pokemon alone. And honestly, there are better Pokemon available without all the hassle, like Nidoking. So I'm just going to save us all time here by saying that Flygon is absolutely not worth it for Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Next up on our stop is Unova, and our boy Flygon knows Pokemon Black and White too. Pretty well, isn't that right, Mr. Best Team Member? You should know what my verdict is if I put Flygon on a best team. It's going to be a worthy Pokemon. I will explain though why I think Flygon is great for Unova Black and White too. You can get Trapinch as early as the Desert Resort. The best part about getting Trapinch so early here is due to the fact that Lisa is the gym leader right after you get it. Even for her Emolga, Trapinch gets Rock Slide level 25. That's coverage offered with no TM, so that's very convenient. It's also really funny that Trapinch gets Rock Slide via level up in Pokemon Black and White too. I say it's funny because it's not consistent across all the other games. It gets Rock Slide, but not by leveling up. I think Game Freak intended for people to want to use Trapinch against Elesa. Not just Elesa though, Unova is known for its dragons, and Flygon is the best counter to those. Its dual typing is the perfect combo for taking on Unova's biggest challenges. Flygon also has coverage for a few other important trainers as well, such as Clay's Excadrill, Chantel Chandelure, and Drifblim with Rock Slide. Flygon also has access to Crunch, so Caitlyn could also be another option. So while I do think a Pokemon like Excadrill is better traditionally than Flygon, for Black and White 2 alone, I think it's better due to all the circumstances it can deal with. Plus that dragon typing really helps it be resourceful over Excadrill, because it gives you access to many different kinds of coverage, not just your typical rock, ground, and steel type attacks. My verdict for Black and White 2, like I mentioned before, is a 100% yes. Even though I made the best team for Black and White 2 a few years back, my decision still stands as having Flygon on the team. I thought I did a great job on that team, so my decision stands. Flygon is the best ground type in Black and White 2. In Pokemon X and Y, Trapinch can be found on Route 13, right above Lumio City. And what do you know? Lumio City's gym leader is Electric type. An Electric type gym leader in the next city over, where Trapinch can be found? And what do you know? It also has access to Rock Slide via level up. Totally not seeing a trend here. Trapinch is a perfect match against Lumios' gym leader Clement, but how does it do against the other important trainers of Kalos? Well, if we take the same guidelines that Garchomp has, we could find out. It can do well against Valor's Mawile, Olympia's team with Crunch, Wickstrom's entire team, Malva's team, Drazna's team, Diantha's Dragon types, and Team Flare's lackeys. Now, all this looks pretty decent, yeah? The problem is, Garchomp exists. Flygon gets outclassed easily by Garchomp, but it doesn't mean it's not viable. The Dragon and Ground typing just does so well in Kalos though. That's why Flygon is a great contender. Garchomp also doesn't extremely outclass Flygon though, so you can still use it. Final verdict for X and Y is yes. Garchomp demonstrates that the Dragon ground typing can be dominant in Kalos. Flygon isn't that far behind Garchomp, so it can be used, especially if it's just casual in-game. However, if you're looking for a team of the absolute best Pokemon for the job of ground type, my answer is no, because Garchomp is best at that job. Following X and Y, we have the remix of Flygon's birthplace, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Now to make things nice and simple, Oras is basically the same deal as Ruby Sapphire and Emerald. Now sure we have the addition of Mega Evolutions and the Fairy type, but the battles are the same at their core. So is Flygon worth it for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire? Yes. Yes it is. Just be a bit more on guard when it comes to the additions Fairy has made to the region. Moving onwards, we're now at the 7th generation of Pokemon, in the beautiful islands of Alola. So Trapinch is pretty late game, only being available after beating Ace Royal's trial in Haina Desert. This really doesn't give you a whole lot to work with right off the bat, but we just gotta see what it can do. So you can definitely do some damage against Nanu's Krokorok and Persian in his Grand Trial if you overleveled a bit to get it to Flygon status. But it might not be super amazing if you're going in with a Vibrava. You've also got Hapu's Grand Trial not too long after, and it can super a whole team if you've got the right set on it. Same goes for Guzma and your final battle against him. Against Lusamine, assuming you built Flygon specifically for her team, you could do well against pretty much all of her Pokemon except for Clefable. Gladiion's team is pretty much a piece of cake. Sure, you'll want to watch out for Ice Shard, but a good superpower from Flygon will take it out nice and quick. How's team will be pretty easy to take on too. However, I wouldn't want to put it up against his Primarina. Then in the Elite Four, you look safe against pretty much all of them, but you're not really going to do much against Hala. There aren't really any good flying moves to put on Flygon, so it would just be a waste of a move just for this one team. But then looking at the champion battle against Kukui, it's back on track to doing phenomenal. Just stay away from his Ninetales and potential Primarina. So the verdict for Sun and Moon? Well, I guess I can give Flygon a pass, but just barely. It really does just come so late, and just isn't as good as some other Pokemon that do the same job. However, it's not bad either, so I cannot flunk him. I'm just saying you have to really like Flygon to use it over any other Pokemon. Next we have the enhanced versions of Alola in Ultra Sun and Moon. I'm going to keep this short because the endgame doesn't really change too drastically. However, there are some new pros and cons to Flygon. We have the battle against Ultra Necrozma, which could technically do well in, but that thing is so strong and Flygon really is more average than anything, so I wouldn't consider using it as a headliner in a battle against that monster. Then when it comes to the Elite Four, you have pretty much the same deal, except this time you have the Steel-type user, Mullane in place of Hala. I think you could straight up sweep his whole team, which is nice to be able to do at the end of the game. Then there's Hal replacing Professor Kukui as a champion battle. Really, he's just adding on a Tauros and Noivern, which can be taken care of pretty easily. So my verdict for this version of Alola, I'm gonna have to say yes once more, with a little bit more oomph than I did with the OG versions, but not too much more oomph. There are still more options, but if you love Flygon, it's not gonna let you down. In Sword and Shield, Trapinch can be found over on Route 6, which is around the middle part of Pokemon Sword and Shield. It can be seen walking in the overworld with a 5% chance to encounter. With how Trapinch's placement is in-game in comparison to other ground and dragon types isn't bad. The unfortunate part is, Dragon isn't really a huge dominating type in Galar. However, its ground typing is predominant. The ground typing does very well in terms of Galar. A lot of important trainers fall victim to this typing. The learn set the Flygon line has is very good too, getting a lot of ground type moves early. Trapinch gets Bulldoze at level 20, which is a base 60 physical attack that guarantees a speed drop every time it lands. That's a very good attack to have at such an early level, especially being a first stage Pokemon. Don't sleep on its dragon typing though, because in Generation 8, Flygon got access to Dragon Dance, which hires its speed and attack by one stage. It also got access to the new move Breaking Swipe, along with the previous great dragon moves it had like Dragon Claw. So Flygon's got great stab options, but it also has a bit of coverage too. It learns moves like Crunch, Superpower, Rock Slide, Iron Tail, etc. So with all these moves, it actually does pretty well in Pokemon Sword and Shield. It's got some new updated artillery, and Flygon is looking as solid as ever. For my final verdict in Pokemon Sword and Shield, I'm going to say yes for Flygon, simply for the sake of its in-game placement as Trapinch, and due to the fact it learned Dragon Dance. If you can get up at least one of these, it's a rapid and in-game playthrough, especially in Sword and Shield. Wrapping up all the information we supplied to Flygon, I found Flygon is an extremely useful Pokemon, especially with its typing. In Gen 3, it was the only Pokemon with its typing, so it was the best at its job. However, with the rise of Garchomp, that was where circumstances changed a little for Flygon. Garchomp is better, but Flygon is still the second best Pokemon with great stats. There are also instances where Trapinch learned Rock Slide via level up, giving it that extra coverage at such an early level. It also gets great physical ground type attacks very early on, so that also helps it out too. The level process does take a while, but the same also applies to Garchomp. Garchomp takes a while to get, but it's Dragon type, that's why. The same also applies to Flygon, but it's the second best. Flygon is a great higher tier Pokemon for in-game playthroughs where other ground Pokemon can't hack it. The aid with its coverage and great stab options also helps further its case against other ground types. I would even say Flygon is one of the better ground type Pokemon around, making my final verdict yes if you're satisfied with the Silver Metal Pokemon. Silver Metal doesn't make it horrible. That's still very good nonetheless. Well, that pretty much wraps up our in-game analysis of Flygon. Flygon is one of the most underappreciated Pokemon out there, and I am so glad that I got to talk about it today. I have used Flygon on my teams many of times, and I definitely want to use it more in the future. What do you guys think of Flygon though? Do you like it? And how well did it do for you in your playthroughs? Let me know down below. Also, one more piece of news I want to share with you guys is that in August, I'm taking the entire month off, so Gallade will be the next Pokemon in this series, so I hope you all look forward to that. If you enjoyed the video, why not leave a like and subscribe to my channel with notifications on, that way you never miss an upload. If you want to support me further, consider following my Twitch where I stream all sorts of games from Pokemon, to Fire Emblem, to Zelda, and much more. I also have an anime channel called MysticSage, where I do anime reviews, rankings, and countdowns, so if you're interested in that kind of content, go ahead and check that out as well. If you want to support me even further in Game Club perks, check out my Patreon. These lovely people have all given me their support over there, and I couldn't be more grateful to them. I think I'm gonna wrap this up though. I'm Mystic Umbreon, and I will see you in the future for more awesome Pokemon content.